Hi everybody, it's the Fat Bald Guy. It's Friday morning, getting ready for an absolutely exciting weekend. We've got so many things to cover. Let me get right into it. I want to go over the stakes races on Saturday and then the Pacific Classic, and then we'll talk a little bit about today. The first one is the test, the Grade 1 test. Probably the toughest of all the graded stakes because pretty much every horse in the race can win. There's 9 horses. I really believe that all 9 can win. There's not a throwout in the race. That's how tough it is. In the pick 4, you really need to go deep. My top choice is So Many Ways, slightly, with My Happy Face second. I think the California horse that, of course, everybody in California likes, that's never been on dirt. Yeah, she can win, but she's never faced any of these types of horses, and of course she gets the strangler, so I'm assuming they're going to try to lay back and then blast home. If she makes the lead, she may be dangerous, but I don't see her making the lead in here. There's enough pace that I think she's going to get buried, and then the closers will run over the top of her. I don't blame you for taking her if you want her, but I don't think she'll win. I'm going to stick with those 2, and then I am going to spread like mad, probably take all in the pick 4. Then you get to the Boston Spall Grade 2 on the turf. Obviously Laughing got everything her own way last time to barely hang on. She picks up the package this time of 123 pounds. Pianist, as long as there's no scratch, is going to put pace pressure on her, so I do not like her at all. I think one of the best bets of the day is Center Court off the change in riders. I think that the turn back in distance, I think the second off the layoff, I think this horse wants to be right about a mile. I think she's a high quality filly, and getting Le Peru off and putting John Velasquez on is just a monumental move, in my opinion, at least. I think John Velasquez is in the top 2 or 3 riders in the country, especially on grass, and especially when he knows he's got the best horse. That's one thing he has perfected with Pletcher over the years, is when he has the best horse, he doesn't get beat very often, and I think he's got the best horse. So I'm going to go with Center Court and then Hungry Island second. I think Hungry Island will come late, and if Center Court don't fire, Hungry Island may run by, but I think it's between those 2. I'm not wild about Somali Lemonade or any of the rest of them. I just don't think they're good enough. Laughing I can put in as a B horse, and if she would happen to get loose again, but I just don't see that coming. Then we go to the King's Bishop. Again, you're going to have 40 tails, probably 8-5 range, and yeah, he looks like the winner, but I'm not sold that he has to win going 7 furlongs. There's going to be an absolute ton of speed in here to set it up for him, but there's also a bunch of closers. So when he goes to make his move, there's going to be several other ones right next to him making the same move. So if he don't get the jump on him, he may get buried behind other closers, and then those horses are not quitting to where he can go around them and may get in a lot of trouble. Obviously, Mentor Crane was probably going to win the Amsterdam when he bolted the turn. He's third off the layoff. Not sure he's good enough. The California horse, again, I know all the California people take that horse. 6-1, I can absolutely see putting him in your pick 4. I'll have him in as a B horse only, but I do not think he'll win. I don't think there's any way he can go wire to wire. I think this race is just set up for a price, and I was talking to some people yesterday online. I think the morning line maker completely missed this race. I mean, completely missed. Central Banker at 20-1 is no way going to happen. And if it does, please make sure you use Central Banker. No Distinction's the same way. No Distinction's a top quality horse that just got burned up in between horses last time. Is going to be able to stalk on the outside. And if he's 20-1, wow, he's got a heck of a chance too. Declan's Warrior to me is a complete throwout. He's been working terrible. Everybody up there has been telling me how this horse is just not doing good, not the same horse. So I would not take him. Bad Hombre, again on the turn back, ran a really nice race in the Curlin. He's on the cutback. He reminds me a lot of Willie Beeman from last year. that, you know, on that turn back, he could come running and nail everybody if the speed duel happens, that I think is going to happen. And then Majestic Hussar, boy, he's a nice horse. And Lascano jumped off of Declan's Warrior to ride Majestic Hussar. That tells you how much quality he's got. So I would think Majestic Hussar is a much used too. So I'm going to take probably those 4 or 5 in there in the pick 4. And then into the Travers, which I've told everybody all week I think is the easiest race of the whole day. I think it comes down to, can Verrazano get a 1.25 miles? He's going to lay second behind that shill, and then when the shill stops, he's going to go into the lead, probably at the 3 furlong marker, and Palace Malice is going to be sitting right behind him, may even be right next to him. And then I think JJ will try to move on Romaniche because he always moves premature in big races, but I just don't think he's got enough horse. So I think when they straighten out, Verrazano is going to be in front, Palace Malice is going to be trying to go by him, and then Orb's going to be coming late, and that's your race. I don't see anybody else, unless Transparent would really step up and run a monster race coming down the middle of the track. But I just don't think that, you know, I just think the favorites are going to probably run 1-2. I think Palace Malice is the best horse. I think he'll run by Verrazano in the middle of the lane. I think Verrazano will stop. I think Orb will come late. But I don't think Orb will get there. I think Palace Malice with Mikey Smith will win. Big race Mikey. I think he will be 1-2 at the worst. I think he has to be your key in every bet you make. He's going to be second choice. He's going to be probably 5-2. I think he's the key. Verrazano, I would not key. He may win, but Verrazano to me is either going to win by 3 or 4 lengths, or he's going to run 4th or 5th or 6th, and you don't want to key him winning place, because if he stops, he's going to stop, and I think he's going to stop. So let's get into Sunday real quick. The Pacific Classic, to me, obviously, the Game On Dude looks about as good as you can look on paper, but we all know this horse. We all know this horse does not want polytrack. He's not a very good polytrack horse compared to what he is on dirt. Personally, I really hope he wins, not for betting reasons for this time, but for the Breeders' Cup Classic, because if he wins, and he wins by 2 or 3 lengths and just looks decently impressive, all the fools in the country are going to make him 8-5 again in the Classic, and he won't get a call. So I'm hoping that happens. But looking at this race, he's facing a lot of pace pressure that if Gary Stevens rides Bayama correctly this time and doesn't get him murdered the whole race, I think Bayama's got a big chance to go early and put some pace pressure on. I'm not wild about fillies against the boys, but Blue Skies and Rainbows is going to run early. There's other horses in here that are going to run early. Endorsement's going to run early unless the Strangler pulls back, to where he's not just going to get this sloping easy lead that he needs to go 1.25 miles. And I think the foreign horse, I think it's pronounced Farjar or something, I think he's the winner. I think he's going to win at about 10 to 12 to 1. These foreign horses like Ravens Pass in the past love the polytrack. They love to ship over here. This horse, if you look closely, already has a couple wins on polytrack at 1.25 miles against lesser, maybe. Other than Game On Dude, are those horses over there really lesser than I Know and Richard's Kid and Endorsement and Liaison? I mean, those horses are not much. And, Kettle Corn's got a big chance to win. Obviously, Dullahan's got a big chance to win. Delegation, to me, is just going to be, up there with Game On Dude and probably stop. So that's where I'm going in here. I'm going to have the foreign horse as my A horse. I'm probably going to save a little with Dullahan. I'll save a little in the pick 4 with Game On Dude, and then a little bit with Kettle Corn. But my main horse is going to be the foreign horse at a big price, and hopefully he'll come flying down the middle of that track when they all start to stagger, and he's got a true 1.25 mile horse. Now let's talk about today a little bit, while I got you here and got your attention. For the package people here, we're hearing that the Pletcher horse is an absolute freak, so get ready. He broke 10 seconds. He went 9-3 at the sale. He's been working like crazy. I've got a personal friend in the barn of one of the other trainers that told me they love their horse, but they just don't think they can beat the Freak in the Pletcher barn. So that should tell you something there. Looking at Bruno's works, he's got this horse rated very high. And then in the second race, he's got one of the big-time favorites in there rated terrible. So you might want to take a look at trying to beat that horse in the second race, spread out a little with the Pletcher in the first, and hope that the 3 to 5 in the second, the Lumber guy gets beat off of bad work. And then the third race, Cracker Jack Jones, to me looks awful tough. I know he's not going to be a great price. And then later on in the stake race, I really think it comes down to Judy the Beauty getting a great rider change. We think, we all know that Rosario can ride, and he's a very good rider, but sometimes he just throws these rides that we don't understand what he's doing and why he's doing it. So if he pops Judy the Beauty, lays her about second and third on the outside, explodes into the lead on the turn, I don't think they can beat her. If he drops her way back, she'll just run second like she's done many times. And Dance to Bristol, again, you got that inexperienced rider in big races, you got the rail, but I think it comes down to those two. And then my play of the day is in the 10th race. We're going to be about 15 to 1. The name of the horse is Invincible Me. That's who I'm going to take and key off of and put little pick threes around, daily doubles, things like that, and hope to catch a 15 to 1 shot, $30 horse. So anyway, hope you guys listened, and hope you agree with some of the stuff I said. Good luck this weekend. Thanks for purchasing. Hopefully you got everything that you wanted. If there's any questions, please shoot them to me before noon so we can get them all answered, get stuff back to you. All right, thanks and good luck this weekend.